So I'm going more into your Egyptian sign. Anubis is like the mass protector in the underworld, as well as like if any trouble's coming. So definitely research Anubis. If you meet Cancer signs that are awake and aware, they'd be pretty good friends to be around. Your twin sister is Isis, and she has a throne on her head, but it looks like a seven or a ruler, one of those right angled ruler. So if you put the throne upside down or the ruler upside down, that's why a ruler is someone who is like the queen, the king, the god, the goddess, the ruler of an empire or the ruler of the underworld. So if you put it upside down, it's a seven. And in the middle, it's like a coffin. Like the little part, the L and the little part in the middle is like an elongated square. Basically, Isis's husband, Osiris, which is Aries, was put into a coffin by Set, which is Nephthys, your goddess's man. And he tricked them and put him in that inside of that coffin. So she needed a box cutter to cut open the boxes after her brother-in-law put his whole entire body into pieces. So if you notice, the end of the ruler looks like a box cutter. So Nephthys, Anubis, and Isis, which is Taurus, found the body. But after they found the body, I think Osiris found it again and he like tore it into pieces and threw it in the ocean. So basically they went in there and got all the pieces except for the Mandingo, which they couldn't find. But they made a fake Mandingo, which is the Immaculate Conception, in order to have Horus, which is Sagittarius. Which is how we got to this picture right here with the gumball machine and the belly being the basket. The basket is holding the eggs, or the fertilized eggs for May, Emerald, which is Taurus, which is Isis. So you being Nephthys, her twin, you could hold her babies for her if she couldn't have them, or you take care of her babies in your basket and make sure that none of the eggs crack. Crack is meaning, they don't actually pass away or something happened to it, but also learning all this stuff can make you crack. The part of awakening is that you don't want to crack while you're awakened because then you start to look unstable. So let's be an unstable crazy together. So that's what I'm trying to teach people, is that the signs that you guys see are naturally the signs that were meant for us to see. And if we make sense of the chaos, then we won't be chaotic. It'll just be normal. You just go around looking at things like it means something. But once you move past the meaning, you could get to your real goal of life, which is to be happy and to do something you're happy and you love for the rest of your life. So your Groundhog Day is good. So just try to make sense of all this symbology. So when you go out and you're awakening, it just makes sense and you're not surprised. Set is the god of chaos. So Set is Scorpio. Nephthys' top of her head reminds me of the gumball machine because you have the door, then you have the part where you put the quarter, and then you have a bowl. And usually that bowl is different, I guess, eggs, I would say. So a lot of times if her twin sister, which is a Set, doesn't have the baby, she carries the babies for her. So just imagine there is a person born in May, which is Emerald, and you are her twin sister, like a surrogate mother. You are carrying her baby, but the baby, you don't know if it's going to be Ra or Horus. It could be any color month, which are the birthstones. So you put some quarters in it, which is the man's what, and then something comes out into the belly. Boom, you're a surrogate mother. So the eye of Horus is blue and the eye of Ra is red. Horus is Sagittarius, which is the goddess Isis, her twin sister's son, is Sagittarius. And of course, the dad is the Aries, which is the Osiris. Now, the red is usually like Ra, Leo, Bastet. Sagittarius is any other color that is fire. So blue is like sapphire. It reminds me of black sapphire. So it's still fire because Horus is Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. And that's the red. So it's like the same thing. Like these entities or these deities or these goddesses are just explaining different astrological signs based on different years, months, and days. And to know who is in that jar. That jar represents your birthstones and when you come out. So if you think about the birthstone for September, it's sapphire, right? So you would think that since the eye of Horus is blue, it's probably going to remind you hanging out with sapphire, which is September. Also, light blue is March. So you could say that Sagittarius are around March people. So for December, there's 3 blue different kind of birthstone as well. And December has Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Ophiuchus, so that's December. Now, if you think about the red eye, think about like ruby red for July, and then January for garnet. So like Ptah in Cancer would be for red. Now, here's the thing. Green is the birthstone for August, but August is a fire sign. You see, but of course, peridot is the name of the August birthstone. That's green. But it reminds me of period. Period's red. It's the end of your period, like the end of a period, end of a sentence. So that's why September 11th is the new year, which is the twin, which is why September 11th was what happened that day. Because Twin Towers, which represents the twins, and it's Thoth, which is the beginning of the school year. Thoth is a Gemini, beginning of school year, which is twins. So everything in the world makes sense if you just think of everything in a deity type of thing. So take notes and go over this because I know it's confusing, but you'll get it. So I talk about Isis a lot, and the Isis Papers was written by Frances Llewellyn Cress. March 18th is her birthday, like you, so definitely delve into her and her birthday because she wrote about your twin sister, which would be Isis Taurus, and she is a Nephthys, just like you, which is Pisces, and like me as well. Another person to look into is Nicole Berdavia. I don't know what he teaches about specifically, but you need to look him up because he's born on your birthday. He was born in Ukraine, and Ukraine has a lot of energy there right now because of what's going on. Not only that, but a lot of people from Ukraine do a lot of spiritual work. And in order to win certain warfare, people do use psychics, like governments use psychics to know things about the future. They want to know if they could win this war or not, if it's worth the money. So Edgar Casey, I was telling you, was born on your birthday. He does New Age movement, Lemuria. He lived in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. He wrote a lot of books, or he has a lot of channeling on YouTube. I don't read a lot of books because, like I said, he visited me astrally and told me what it was. I already knew the energy. For me, he'd be like a Republican would be these days. So I'm good with Republicans, but he's like a new ager, which is like peace, love, and healing. But I'm like, yeah, but where's my reparations for Black people? So I don't really go into the people that do new age very much because they think, everybody loves each other, so we'll move on. But some new age people are portals to negative energies. So just remember his face. He will try, like I said, to contact you because that's how he gets information about Lemuria. So you could look at some of his works. He worked with Helena Blavatsky, which was born in August 12th, which is a Sirius portal. I've seen her, like I said before. I haven't seen her in Georgia where I am now because it's like they're bound to Kentucky, in that Tennessee area. They'll go to certain places that have their energy. And if the energy doesn't survive, then they can't go. So Helena Blavatsky, remember her face because she does travel on people, especially if her ancestors are part of that DNA. And she nosy, and she's like a woman that will lock you up in a room and ask you questions, and she's not very nice. I don't know what happened in her life, but trauma. And she's from Ukraine and Russia, and her dad was a military person. So she's one of those people that went to India and went to different places to, do psychic things for them, but not in like a way that was helpful because at the end it almost got me terminated in Kentucky. So look out for her because that energy it never was good for me. Read some of the books about Atlantis and Lemuria, whether they be from Edgar Casey or from her, because they did channel us, so it's not like it's not the truth. Edgar Casey also channels things about Egypt. So if you haven't already, get a DNA test to see what you are, because that usually helps a lot with your own gifts. And tapping into what they learned about us helps with our gifts. And remembering their faces helps as well.